What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. I am Love Coach Scott Katamas, and welcome to the Global Peace Tribe, the Awakening World, our Saturday night show. And tonight's a really, really fun show. You know, one of the things I love to do is promote conferences, festivals, summits, gatherings of like-minded souls. And probably one of the most, if not the most important gathering that's kind of happening for our tribe this summer is the EARTHSTOCK Summit. And so tonight we're dedicated to learning all about the EARTHSTOCK Summit. We're going to meet many of the core presenters, the core team putting all of this together. As always, we have some wonderful music. And look at all the people that are going to be joining us tonight. Of course, beloved brother Omashar will be providing us with not one, not two, but 3 songs. It's a 3-song night. The wild monk of the Mystic Monastery, Jerry Anderson, is going to be with us tonight, not just in the audience, but actually talking about EARTHSTOCK, because he's a big part of it. And our beloved friends, Connie and Andrew, back from Australia, always with new film projects. They're going to be with us as well. And another beloved friend that you all know, Maureen Edwardson, is with us tonight. So these are some of our friends that you all know, at least those of you in the Zoom room. But look at all the new people we're going to be meeting tonight. We're going to be meeting Shannon MacArthur. Whoops. There she is. And we're going to be meeting Nan Claudia. And we're going to be meeting Grandmother Gail. And we're going to be meeting the professor, Alan Tratner. And these are all people that are a big part of EARTHSTOCK. We also are going to have Hope Fitzgerald is coming back. And so we're really glad to have Hope with us. There is hope in the awakening world. So welcome back. And I'm now looking for the main man. There he is, Michael DiMartino. And Michael is the guy who's kind of at the center of all of this, putting it together. Welcome to the awakening world, Michael.
Thank you so much. And it's really great to be here and appreciate all the work that you and Omashar do. And of course, you know, even though I'm here helping to coalesce all these amazing solutionaries and visionaries and wisdom keepers and grandmothers, that really this is an unprecedented collaboration of, at this point, almost 100 people and presenters. So really happy to be here tonight and get to speak to your community, which are all part of these great many hoops that are coming together at this incredibly transformational time on the earth.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to let you introduce Grandmother Gail, and she'll get us going with an opening prayer. We'll be talking about EARTHSTOCK all throughout the evening. So take it away, Michael.
Great. Thank you again. So, part of EARTHSTOCK, I will say very briefly, we are a foundation, but we're also an event. And the event is really focused on full spectrum regenerative solutions for change. So in doing that, we always invite the voices of our indigenous communities in and their knowledge to be heard. They always have a seat of honor at the table. So with that, I want to welcome my sister and a grandmother and spiritual advisor for this project in our community, Grandmother Gail Thomas.
Thank you so much, Michael and Scott and Umshar and all who are gathered here. My ancestral name, Galigia Kariskwe, Dancing Heron, Dances with Death, Amigale.
Grandmother, it's really hard to hear you. You've gotten really soft again. So if you could speak as loudly as possible so we can hear you, please.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, I disabled original sound and I'll turn it back on. But my ancestral name, Galigia Kariskwe, Dancing Heron, Dances with Death, call me Gail, in Wayumiganalita, the river basin of the Long Man in Takiosti, Asheville, North Carolina. I live on our sacred mountain, Aragul, which means helping many people. And we are the people who resisted both removal on the Trail of Tears and the reservation the federal government calls Cherokee. We resisted by hiding in these lands, in these mountains. And our prayers are our songs. So Michael and I created this song together. And you're hearing it for the first time tonight.
No sound?
Thank you. All about connecting, spirit to spirit feeling, commune with nature, feel your body and your soul. Mend the sacred with the whole. Learn traditional knowledge. Experience each new ledge of creating at the edge. Inspire your spirit to glide in endless skies. Love can surely arise. Uplifting voices, outstretched arms, keeping us all from harm. Community calls in charm. Gather with nature.
Oh, let's all give grandmother a big twinkle. I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment. Beautiful, beautiful. Hmm. Grandmother, I pulled up your website, and I would love for you to tell us about Dream Story Magic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Scott, for doing that. I'm trained in classic Jungian depth psychology. I'm a specialist, and I work with dreams because they connect us with the soul. Actually, my songs come to me in dreams. I hear them in the dream, and I sleep with the recorder under my pillow, and I can turn it on without opening my eyes and record the song directly from the dream. And then I have to do the work. I have to bring it into production. I have to finish it. Sometimes it gives me the hook, sometimes it gives me the chorus, sometimes it gives me the whole song, and it keeps waking me up. It gives me 2 lines at a time. So I help others find their song and find their voice using Jungian dream work in this way as well. So thank you, Scott.
It's fascinating. You know, you're in good company. Bob Dylan, also, all of his songs come through. I saw an interview and someone said, "How do you write so many songs?" He said, "Oh, I don't write them. I just write them down." And then he explained that same thing very much. He goes to bed, it comes in the dream time, and he writes it down. So that's clearly your beautiful spirit for channel, a very beautiful channel for spirit to flow through. And again, a reminder for all of our friends watching on Facebook, you can find her by going to dreamstorymagic.blogspot.com. dreamstorymagic.blogspot.com. And there's some really beautiful things here. I just discovered this when I met her a few minutes ago. So I'm looking forward to exploring all of these beautiful offerings that you're providing for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. I also do the transformation dance, which Michael and I have created 4 songs for the elements that will be leading dances in ritual transformation for during the summit.
Beautiful. A lot of comments are coming in, by the way. Pam writes, "Thank you, grandmother. Your song was heart-opening and connecting." Eleanor Joy writes, "I appreciate Jungian dream work." George says, "That was awesome." Dr. Laura says, "Thank you, grandmother Gail. That was beautiful." Karen S. points out that she also writes songs that come to her in the dream time. So thank you very much, Gail, for getting us off to such a beautiful start.
Thank you, Scott and Michael.
Well, another beloved of the Global Peace Tribe is with us, but she's with us in, I think, a different, if you will, a different persona, and that is our dear friend Dana Tomasino. And of course, many of you met Dana at the Los Angeles Global Peace Tribe retreat that we had about a year ago. And there she is as a beautiful mermaid who has a beautiful kind of next experience for us to have. Welcome, Dana.
Aloha, everyone. Scott, I had a little problem with my computer freezing up just before the show started, and I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I had to come back in the Zoom room. Can you hear me okay?
We can
I
hear
know my
you.
image doesn't look so fluid.
Your video is choppy, but your audio is just fine.
Okay. Well, aloha, everyone. I'm coming to you tonight as my sea siren Lemurian mermaid essence. This is an aspect of who I am. And I feel that a lot of the work that I've been doing in sacred sound originates from my time in ancient Lemuria. So tonight I wanted to offer something I call an ocean cleanse. So it's going to be a little meditation and a sacred sound infusion. So let's go ahead and focus our attention on our heart. And let's begin to breathe slowly and deeply. with our breath coming in through our hearts and going out through the heart. And breathing in through the heart and breathing out. Now envision that you are floating in a vast ocean. The waves gently washing over you. This is an ocean, a higher dimensional ocean of liquid light. And this liquid light flows directly from source. This liquid light has the capacity and the power to transmute any and all density, physical pain, emotional pain and stress, energetic blocks. So simply relax into this ocean of liquid light. Allowing the waves of divine light to gently cleanse your entire beingness, leaving you lighter, nourished, and filled with the energy of pure source light and love. And allow this sacred sound to infuse your beingness and to assist in cleansing and transmuting all that you wish to release from the physical, mental, emotional, and energetic levels.
Thank you so much, Dana. Let's all give the mermaid some beautiful, beautiful love. Absolute beautiful love. I put into the chat box a little bit about Dana, and I also put her business card. But I also want to let you know about a very special event that's going on. Oh, that's how you stay in touch with her on YouTube, or you can email her, or of course find her on Facebook. So I'll leave that up for a few moments for anybody on Facebook, anybody watching. This is how you can get in touch with Dana, her beautiful heart magic, and come to EARTHSTOCK. That's the best way to get in touch with Dana, either in person. And of course, that's a big part of what we really want to encourage everybody tonight. Come to EARTHSTOCK. It's going to be quite wonderful. All the people going to meet tonight are going to be there. Then I also want to present to you, she is going to have a very special sacred sound healing journey celebration in conjunction with her birthday coming up on Monday the 22nd. And it's also a fundraiser. Dana is going to Peace Week with Omashar and Ben Bowler and Kristen Hoffman and Antoinette and many of our friends who are going to Japan for Peace Week, and Dana's going as well. Dana, is there anything you'd like to add and share with us about your birthday celebration?
Yes, I'm just inviting everyone to please come. This is the very first time that I've offered something like this. It is by donation. It's $22 suggested donation, but you can donate any amount, and that will be fully appreciated, and you're very welcome to join us. All you have to do is make any donation from your heart at my PayPal address that's on the flyer, and I'll send you the Zoom link, and we're going to have a beautiful time. It's going to be a sound healing journey, a group healing, something that we're going to do together, and then just a birthday celebration and a lot of sharing. So I hope you will join us on July 22nd, 2:22 p.m. Pacific time.
Wonderful. I'm sure many of us will be there. Many of our family will be there, and I'll put the PDF in right now. Whoops, that's Omashar. Everybody. There we go. So it's in the chat box. And again, for those of you watching on Facebook, you can find it, I assume, on your Facebook page. If you go to Dana's Facebook page, we saw. And thank you so much, beautiful mermaid Dana. Always appreciate your offerings.
And of course, I look forward to seeing everyone at EARTHSTOCK, where I'll be sharing my sacred sound work and heart coherence work as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dana. Well, I'm speaking of EARTHSTOCK. Here he is. Here's the man, the myth, the legend, Michael DiMartino, who's putting this all together, along with an amazing.
Oh, God.
And among the amazing people that are part of this core group is our own wild monk of the Mystic Monastery, Durian. So it's pretty exciting. I think, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this opening video that just gives people a little bit of an introduction, and then we're going to talk about the festival.
What happens when the world comes together with one common goal? EARTHSTOCK 2024, a revolution in environmental action. This isn't just another summit, it's a global gathering that celebrates and elevates the voices of all, from scientists to students, from activists to artists. At EARTHSTOCK, we believe that solving the climate crisis requires everyone. Yes, that means you too. Whether you're a tech guru, a philosopher, or someone who simply loves the planet, your contribution is vital. Dive into our world of workshops, talks, and interactive sessions. Be inspired by leaders like Heather Lynch, who reminds us that it takes a village to save our planet. Join us in making a pledge, learning about local tree species, or understanding the urgent shifts we need to embrace. Remember, at EARTHSTOCK, every small action adds up to massive change. Let's shape the future of our Earth together. Be the change you wish to see at EARTHSTOCK 2024.
Beautiful, beautiful video. So, Michael, maybe start by telling us, how did this all evolve? How did this happen?
It was actually by divine invitation. So just real quick, again, thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. And I will say a big part of the mission of EARTHSTOCK is what we call full spectrum regenerative change. And many of you might be familiar with the work of Barbara Marx Hubbard. And she had something called the Wheel of Co-Creation. And the idea is that there's many different aspects of the work that all of us are doing around the world in our own communities. And EARTHSTOCK is an opportunity for us all to bring our superpowers, our solutions, our organizations together to help co-architect and co-create this new paradigm that is so obviously needed right now in a time of so many things, old paradigm collapsing, changing, and transitioning, everything from the environmental and ecological to the financial to the social to political. I mean, art, everything is in this flux, what I call regenesis, of this rebirthing transformational process. So very briefly, I am an interfaith minister. So a big part of my work throughout my life has been trying to explore and find the common ground while maintaining the diversity and the sovereignty of all of us in the work that and who we are from the various cultures and traditions, gender, generations, but to find common ground. So a lot of that accelerated in 1987 during Harmonic Convergence, where I spent some time with, I met grandfather David Menungier and Thomas Banyaka and some of the Hopi elders. I also, shortly after that, had spent a lot of time there. I learned about Hopi prophecy and the idea of earth changes and all these different concepts of, prophecies of what was happening and how that actually lined up with many traditions from around the world. So in '92, I attended the Earth Summit. I had an opportunity to participate in that event, and everyone was there. Everyone from the Dalai Lama to people who were working very intensively around sustainable development with the United Nations. People like Hannah and Maurice Strong, who actually founded the community where I'm living now in Crestone. So there's not to go too far down the rabbit hole, this is a really an evolution of my own consciousness, but also more than just myself and more than EARTHSTOCK. It's just been an expression of this whole transition of what I call from Woodstock to EARTHSTOCK, where we had this zeitgeist explosion of art and consciousness, the American Indian movement, the health and wellness, people like Professor Troutner, one of the co-founders of Earth Day, art, culture, everything, back to the land movement, women's rights, human rights. We had luminaries like Martin Luther King. So it was this whole really zeitgeist moment of consciousness. And I feel like in the Mayan calendar, we talk about Baktuns. We're kind of at this crossroads again. So with 87, the Harmonic Convergence and some of the Hopi prophecies, people I worked with, the Parliament of World Religions, the Earth Summit, we actually ended up creating our first large event, which was called World Unity Festival in '94. Little did we know, with people like Chief Phil Lane Jr. and many others that were at that event, Babatunde Olatunji, that 20,000 people were going to arrive. So through that whole unity gathering, which was also coinciding with the birth of Miracle, the first of now many white buffaloes that was born, it was very obvious that so many people are needing and hungry for this idea of unity and collaboration. So here we are years later, and we seem to live in such a divisive world in many ways. So the idea of finding common ground, but also bringing our hoops, bringing our knowledge, bringing our superpowers, our solutions together, again, whether we work with arts and culture, spiritual work with people, whether we work with renewable energy or agriculture, or we work with water, whether we work with health and wellness or media, that we're at this zeitgeist of this incredible transformation, but inviting people. And sometimes, maybe a musician is in a total different universe than someone who works with green technology, who's doing things around solar or wind power or regenerative agriculture. But the idea is bringing all of these elements together during the 7 days of the EARTHSTOCK Summit. I will say, after doing many large events, including in '99, the event at the 2-day event at the Great Pyramids of Egypt. And we did an event in 2005. It was the Imagine Peace Festival with the World Peace and Prayer Society in upstate New York, along with the International Day of Peace in September, and a global gathering for the ending of a Mayan calendar in Chichen Itza, Mexico, I find it really important now, especially since the pandemic, and we've all had an opportunity to kind of reevaluate ourselves and our priorities in the world as we come out of this chrysalis of this time. Like, how do we get people to connect and come together? So it's a very small, very intentional summit. We have a capacity potentially up to 400 people in Crestone, Colorado, which has its own attributes as kind of a global place of vision questing and healing and an intentional community, green building. But also, we're going to be broadcasting the event. So the question is, new paradigm, new earth, new humanity. What's new? What are we bringing forward? And most importantly, which is the essence of this event, how do we weave together harmoniously and become a symphony of transformation, all of us, again, utilizing our superpower or skills?
Beautiful. That's a good question. It's a really good question. I'm going to bring up our beloved, the wild monk of the Mystic Monastery. Jerry, what's attracted you to this? You have a lot of options of course, you've got 10,000 acres of Puerto Rico you could be at any time, and you've got your home in Pennsylvania. What drew you to decide that you're going to be a part of Earthstock?
Well, I've been working with Michael now for quite a few months, and he's very humble of how he is working and making all this happen. Along with, for a very long time, he's been working with Chief Phil Lang, who the whole Awakening World are very familiar with. And Crestone is a very unique place. It's a very high desert. I think it's the second highest desert in the world. It has a sand dunes there that's 700 feet high. Can you imagine, in the middle of Colorado? So it's a very sacred place to the tribes. The mountains there is literally called the Mountain of the Blood. Uh, so Crestone is an exciting place to have such a world event. And like Michael was saying, we're broadcasting it out to the world as well as bringing in from the world, around the world. He is organized in Asia and Europe and Africa and Australia and South America, all the different kinds of tribes coming together and presenting. So as a video participant via Zoom, you will be able to receive teachings from Africa and all these places that Michael's put together. Amazing technologies from the Philippines and all the different areas where he's connected. And every week he has a Zoom meeting with that continent on building and bringing together all the assets so that we can really have a spectacular summit and bring all the wisdom and wisdom that can be shared and we can all implement in different ways.
That beautifully stated. And I know you and I just started talking a little bit about possibly doing something in October on your land. Do you want to say anything about our audience? Just give a little teaser.
Yes, I would like to put out that in my prayer and meditation in the last week or two, I realized that October is such a fabulously beautiful time here in this area of Pennsylvania with all the fall colors and so forth. So I'm offering, and I haven't really set up the dates and so forth, but in October, looking at doing a spiritual encampment here on my 100 acres land along the river that flows all the way to the Mississippi from here.
Wow. Well, maybe we'll have a Global Peace Tribe retreat in Pennsylvania.
Yes, yes, yes. All are welcome.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Jerry. We'll hear more from Jerry a little bit later on. And here is another Global Peace Triber that you all know and love, who's also going to be a big part of the show. I should say of the summit. Michael is still training me. It's a summit. I'm used to saying show or festival. But Maureen, welcome back to the Awakening World, and welcome back to the world. You took a little visit out into the cosmos there for a bit.
Yes, yes. And of course, after being in Australia for 2 of the 3 months with the honeymooners, Connie and Andrew, I went to the Holo movement in Spain, Ibiza, where I surprised myself and everyone by having a heart attack. And the good news is all the love, all the healing prayers instantly healed my heart. So the first artery was 100% blocked, and the second one was 70. And when they went to have a look at the second one, a couple of days later, they couldn't find any blockages. It was totally gone. And so the second surgery was just what, 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago. And I've been home about 3 weeks from Spain, and I'm vibrantly alive, ready for my second 75 years to start on July the 9th.
I mean, can you believe that this woman had a heart attack
Uh,
a month ago? I mean, Michael, it's outrageous.
it's incredible, and it's so tied into the work that she does around heart and coherence, and everything that's weaving together. And I will say a big part of my communications with Maureen and these weekly meetings is just about deep listening to what he wants to emerge from the field. I think most of the people here with their superpowers are, as we come together, are just doing a lot of listening of how we can be more effective. And of course, communication is important, but we also have to take that communication, whether it's from nature, our subconscious, our ancestors, whatever people connect with, and we have to put this into action. It's this whole thing of now is the time and we are the ones.
Beautiful. And share with us what Maureen's role with the festival is. And of course, Maureen, whatever you want to share.
Well, I'll just say briefly, there's a lot of moving parts. I will say every day at the event, we don't even start in Crestone until 1 p.m. We go till 6 p.m. It's not an all-day inside event. Actually, more than half of the event is outside in Crestone. We're going to be doing things like a regenerative agriculture, natural building. There's going to be elements of our wisdom keepers and grandmother councils doing ceremonial things. Of course, we're going to have edutainment and music to inspire people. But really, what we're finding is a lot of people are coming open to building this hoop, weaving our hoops together to see how we can be more effective. So Maureen really helps, as well as Dana, who does a lot of work with coherence, is getting people to drop in and be able to do deep listening and to feel like, we all come with our ideas and our expectations. But again, sometimes, and I definitely am a living testimonial of this, we can be in our own way by being too full of things. So how do we become empty and coherent and listen? And Maureen has such a gift in this area.
Beautiful. Well, let's have an experience of that gift. What would you like to share with our audience tonight, Maureen?
Well, I will be doing daily events on each theme for EARTHSTOCK, and maybe Michael can put up what the daily themes are from Monday through Sunday. And I would love to share, as always, when I have the opportunity, a nutshell version from the nut here of the magic that we all have within us to activate, to clear the way, neutralize the static, so that we can fall very quickly, very profound and deeply into presence and our core greatest self, that then allows us the automatic, organic expression of our greatest self and automatically activates our gifts as solutionaries and evolutionaries that then can show up and contribute our golden threads and weave them together in ultimate harmony and alignment. So it's a really, very, really cool protocol that many of you have experienced. And I'll just take you through the brief version. And for the long version, you're just going to have to come to Crestone. All right. So we start with the breath. So just breathing in that love, that light, that spirit that we are. And simultaneously just saying yes and thank you to all of the spiritual team that we have at our sides, all fully surrounding us. Yes and thank you to remembering who we are as infinite beings of spirit. And then just remembering, or learning if you don't know already, that the body is a magical machine. I can tell you that for sure. And the latest miracle and magic is my heart, which is all new, totally cleansed and cleared and reactivated, regenerated We have the power of our higher consciousness that is love for a full transformation. So let's just switch it on because it goes to sleep. We got to wake it up. So right together, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to say the word switch on body, and let's just have a beautiful heavenly choir. 1, 2, 3, switch on body. Yay. And so now we are at choice. Who knew we had choice? Who knew that we're in charge of our personal universe? So let's just play and see what can happen. So let's now just open up to the potential that we can and play with the idea and give permission to clear any and all static, any old programs, old beliefs that, do this instead of this, and allowing everybody their own ways that come in, and that oneness that is the unique diversity that we all have a piece of. So all unresolved issues that stand in our way, known and unknown, because they're all happening in our field. They're all happening beyond our mind, and our body no longer needs to keep acting it out. So we can just relax and rest in that place of ease and grace, and allowing all levels of memory, all aspects of who we are. It's a full-scale matrix, super duper defrag antiviral program in that quantum superconscious where everything is here now. It's all available in frequency. And just allow, as you breathe in and out with awareness of your heart, and the operative agreements that allow such a profound shift to happen so quickly are is that you are agreeing with your own greater self and source itself, safe and appropriate, easy and gentle and gently, instant and permanent, effortless grace. And allowing the part of you that's open to something different being possible in a different way than what we've perhaps ever known as possible. And allowing the part of you that's really ready to step up and be the solutionary, be the evolutionary, be that greater self, shining bright, and allowing the community, to embrace you, and you embrace the community, and all is a most beautiful dance that we get to do together. And so now just allowing the part of you that knows how to go do all this beyond your conscious mind, beyond your body's need to keep getting poked by those signals in your field, all the signals are getting neutralized that are no longer relevant or necessary. So there's nothing else to do except just be in your heart and just breathe with awareness of your heart in and out. And knowing and trusting that in the background, in that place where there is no time, it's already done. And just allowing yourself to feel that end result of the chemistry of wholeness on a whole new level. That frequency of greater freedom to be more of your greater self than ever before. And then allow yourself to notice over the next few days what just drops in, how you feel, how you respond. It's magic. It's science. Guess what? It's science. And so now I invite you to put your hand on your heart and just fill it up with all your blessings. And as you feel that very, very quick, but very deep drop into presence, just feel the gratitude, feel the appreciation for life itself and for being here now. That's where everything finds us. So let's just take 5 deeper breaths to anchor that in on a whole new level. And it's fast, however, magical. So I'm going to ask you to pay attention over the next few days. Report in next week, okay? Breathing in your first deep breath and breathing out, letting go. Second breath in, breathing out, letting go. Third deep breath, breathing in love. And just breathing out from your heart. So much love and peace. Breathing in and touching. Breathing out, letting go. And I lost count, so let's do one more. And twinkle for yourselves. Twinkle your higher self. Twinkle your happiness for no reason. Mm. Oh, and do that single touch breath before you sleep, when you wake up. Anytime you happen to get triggered, nobody gets that, but if you do, you get to come back into balance and clarity, clearing anything and everything underneath that in that moment. So it's a beautiful tool. Self-help continues working and strengthening every time when you feel loving, when you feel a beautiful flower, smell a rose, just add that in. So we have that capacity to be the magic. So thank you so much.
Wow. Well, there's a reason for us all to be in Earthstock, to have Maureen leading every day something for us. Thank you. And for those who can't make it, I do want to take you to her website. For our viewers who don't know, tell us more about IRT, your inner resonance technology that you do. Because this is, I know, has changed many lives, including Connie and Andrews and some of the other people that are part of our Global Peace Tribe.
It's true, and Andrew has a video testimonial on my website, and basically it's just helping us remember who we are, because isn't that the main issue? With all the trouble in the world, we've just forgotten who we are as love. We've forgotten who we are as spirit, and if that's really true, then what is possible? And then I also have a section on people that are choosing to be evolutionary solutionaries and join different programs like regrowing teeth, because we all have the program. We have the pattern in our field of our perfect blueprint. So people have healed and regrown kidneys in different ways with Russian DNA protocols of frequencies. Our body already knows how to do this. So we just have to set the right conditions and clear the way. So it's basically, clearing what's in our way so that naturally who we are organically arises and we're more magnificent than we can ever imagine. So it's very, very simple, but really joyful work, and miracles happen every moment.
Beautiful. And again, for everybody watching on Facebook or YouTube, it's MaureenEdwardson.com, MaureenEdwardson.com. And she is one of these extraordinarily generous people. And she's offering a free 33-minute exploration session. So you can actually experience her for free.
Usually it ends up as a whole session because I'm just incorrigible. Yeah, it's my joy.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much for your amazing contributions. My dog jumped up just as you were here, so she wanted to see Maureen. Am I going to get a kiss?
Hi, I remember her from LA.
That's right. You met Jasmine Bear.
I did meet Jazz.
Yeah, so Maureen, thank you so very much. God bless you. And
thank you for the time.
Absolutely. We love you very much.
Yeah.
Well, I think with all that we've heard and all that we've experienced, it's time to digest. And the best way to digest is through Omoshar music. We've gone, almost an hour and we haven't heard from Omoshar yet. So it is my pleasure to bring up my beloved brother, the man who makes all things happen, the Alpha and Omega normally of the show, our three-song night man, Mr. Omoshar.
That would be me. And as I seem to be the one to help it digest, I'm going to have to rename my music, because I call it Metapop, which is metaphysical pop music, but meta probiotic pop music. And so what a show already. This feels so great. And Michael, you rock. Dana, you swim. Maureen, you're just a breath of fresh air. And Gail, thank you for starting us off. And I'm going to continue in that vein. Put a little bit of a cosmic backdrop on here. Change my sound settings. Here we go. Another dawn, another day. Innocent child coming your way. I've been wondering about my life. Oh yeah. Wondering about my state of mind.
up. Whoa. The sun is warming up my mind. Ocean breeze blows me away, and yet still I've been wondering about my life. Oh yeah, wondering who will take my place. But then I heard, who is it for? If not for yourself, how do you feel? And why do you cry, 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 cry? Who is it for? If not for yourself, how do you feel? And why do you cry, 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 cry? Who is it for? If not for yourself, how do you feel? So come on, let's fly. Come on, let's fly. Let's fly.
Let's all give a big, 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 beautiful twinkle for Mashar. I love that song.
Yeah, me
I
too.
am just
It was because Another Dawn is about coming into each day as a child, innocent, free of all the shackles, everything that Maureen was leading us through, freeing ourselves from. And then this Earthstock Summit is such a new seed. It's not a new seed, but it is a new seed. And it just became rather obvious that I should bring this song in for this show tonight. So thank you.
well. Now I'm curious to see what other two tunes you're going to bless us with a little bit later on in the show.
Yeah, me too.
See you in a bit, brother. All right, Michael, turn your camera on, buddy. There you are. You are going to introduce us to a very extraordinary man, the professor.
Absolutely. We're not talking about the one from Gilligan's Island, although he does live on an island. So, and wow, thank you, Omashar. Like, I have to say, I had my mic off. Obviously, I'm here in the park in Nevada City, Nevada. Actually, we call it Nirvana City, which is a city of light by Edgar Cayce. He talked about these places. And as you were playing, in the distance, there's a sporting game going on. And it was just massive crowds of people cheering and yelling. And it was just like such a amazing synchronized crescendo of like ecstatic energy. So thank you so much. That was incredible.
You rock, Michael, because that is exactly how I've experienced it sometimes, even though it seems like a separately happening game. It's really the whole symphony. If you listen to it all at once, it's a symphony, and here we are. And thanks for the cheers. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you. So it's with great honor. I will say about 8-10 years ago, I had the honor to meet our next presenter, who's really become a mentor, Professor Alan Troutner. And I interviewed him in Sacramento at it was a big health and wellness expo focused on not only our personal health and wellness, but also on environmental wellness. And then years later, we circled back around and were reconnected through a friend, Tom Chavez, who was actually one of the original beatniks back in the 60s, and a writer and poet, and worked with Ferlinghetti. Again, Woodstock to Earthstock is this whole lineage of connectivity. But right before the pandemic, as things were kind of starting to shut down, we were planning a large event, and because of the mandates, we canceled a very large event that we were going to do. But we decided that the mission of this event, which is now being brought back out 4 years later, Earthstock, should be a nonprofit organization. So I want to thank and welcome a mentor of mine, a brilliant person, over 50 years of incredible work and commitment to the environment, and also one of the co-founders of Earth Day, live from Maui, Professor Alan Tratner.
Thank you, Michael. Well, aloha from Maui. I'm in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on what Buckminster Fuller called Spaceship Earth. That's our only home, and we have messed it up quite a bit. I hope everyone can hear me. Are we clear?
Yeah, we're good.
10 for 10, as they say. So yes, I was involved in very proudly so in the actual founding of the original Earth Day, and then we went on to do the first International United Nations Conference of the Human Environment in Stockholm, and a gazillion other things. But the most important thing, on the occasion of Earth Day, I founded two organizations, the Environmental Education Group, to work with schools, and we did the first modules, environmental education modules anywhere, for the United States and then into other countries. But the most important thing I think that I created out of an inspiration that came in a dream, by the way, was Green to Gold. It was the first and pioneering, longest existing global incubator on the planet. It was all about, if we invented our way into the mess of pollution, how could we invent our way out of that and use our creativity and our spiritual abilities and everything to make a better economy, the green economy, the inclusive green economy. And that's what I've been about in my whole life. And we have an organization with 100,000 creative individuals, both inventors, entrepreneurs, innovators, business people, all the way to the nonprofits. And we're a novelty in incubation in the world, that we're a 501c3 nonprofit. And we've incubated more than 300 nonprofits that are all socially and environmentally responsible, such as Michael's EARTHSTOCK Foundation. So I'm really thrilled, having worked with him on all these different frontiers, to see this come together for the EARTHSTOCK Summit happening in August. And I'll be part of that in talking about what we're doing with Green to Gold and our transition to sustainability. The reason why I'm here on Maui, we were hit by that horrible disaster that everybody saw, Lahaina, a climate-driven disaster that incinerated a city and so many lives and so much property and business, and they haven't even begun to recover. But we were here to prevent that from happening. And now, because of working with Michael, we ended up doing, you'll see a poster up there in the back, Build Back Green. We created, like on a shoestring, an event that was about trying to draw together people that might be concerned about these climate-driven disasters, and offering shelters, raising awareness, having solutionaries, one of my favorite words that Michael invented. And I'm an inventor in renewable energy and all kinds of technologies and stuff, but it's just a great synergy to work with people like Michael and everyone else that he has hosted for those 7 days in August. But I will tell you, the other thrilling thing is that last year we had an opportunity to put together, I've been on all kinds of media in my life, Oprah, Good Morning America, CNN, my own national radio show, traveled the whole planet about sustainable economic development. But we've created something called Regenerative Media TV, which has actually grown now from a global platform that allows us to actually push forward all of our ventures and our nonprofits and everyone in between, curriculum and courses about solutions for this planet and how we get to that inclusive green economy, the utopic opportunity that we have to grasp right now. And I'm thrilled about it. And our transition to sustainability and the green economy is a part of that. And I want to help anybody that has great ideas. whether they're for nonprofits, impactful work, or for inventions, new green products, new sustainable regenerative products. That's what we're all about. We're pushing that into that green economy and getting rid of the ones that are polluting. We have a harm-free emporium. Do no harm to humans, do no harm to animals, do no harm to plants, do no harm to the planet. That's a new credo that should be part of our green economy and the way we do capitalism on this planet. And so that's what I'm all about. And I'm so thrilled to be involved in helping push forward the summit and our new regenerative media TV. And to top that off is, wait, there's more. We have created a new alliance that's called Regeneration Global. And it is kind of like the assemblage of all the things I've been talking about, Michael's been talking about, that are needed in the world into a focused opportunity to bring three different major solutions. One is prevention and resilience for climate change disasters that everyone is experiencing around the planet. The second one is the Build Back Green that has taken on a life of its own to help people understand the solutions and how to help their local situations. And we build back from the green economy that's local. That's how we'll get a global green economy, is doing it in communities everywhere. And then the last one is bringing all the forces and the energy that we have of science and technology and solutions and methodologies to do a regenerative world, and bringing that to communities locally, and empowering them with a green economy and good green jobs and solutions for hopelessness that children have and other populations around the world. How do you raise the poverty level of this planet without doing something better for everyone? And that's what the global green inclusive economy is about. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's going to be a part of our focus, being involved in the EARTHSTOCK Summit. So we invite everyone to participate and do their best. But if you have great ideas, don't be afraid to get a hold of me, because that's what I've been all about, is helping to mentor and incubate those ideas into things that will power up an inclusive green regenerative economy.
Wow. Thank you so much for the wonderful work that you're doing. And what's the best way for people to reach you? I've put your website into the chat box. Is that the best way to reach you, or do you want to put in your email address?
Sure. It's Alan at green2gold.org. And that's the best way to do it. I mean, we have 100,000 members around the world and 300 nonprofits that we've created, and it grows every day. And the more we get into the media and do things like the EARTHSTOCK Summit, the better more people that care about the planet, about health and welfare of everything, all the species, the biosystem of this planet. That's what we're trying to do. So if you want to reach me about anything having to do with making a difference in this world and how our incubator can help you, our nonprofit incubator, we do not take equity. We try to help everybody push forward those great ideas. So it's Alan at green2gold.org, or just go to our website, green2gold.org. And certainly go to the EARTHSTOCK Festival website. And this is the press release that we had for Earth Day. Michael and I did a 3-day event that was for this past Earth Day. And it was on a Saturday and a Sunday and a Monday, the actual Earth Day. And what we presented was pretty incredible. The first day was about indigenous people and sovereignty and native people. And then the next day was about our 2 Build Back Greens for Maui and for Acapulco in Mexico that got hit by the horrible hurricane. And the last day was Earth Day, where we actually did a live broadcast where I was from Maui. Earth Day has become the largest civic event for humanity on this planet. Billions of people every year turn out, and it's driven by a lot of concern of the youth in the world, and people that understand that this is our only home, and this is where we get our survival from, and we better protect this system and make it better for everybody. I have a 10-year-old son, Quest, and now I know why I exist. I'm no longer the center of my own universe, and we got to make a future for everybody that's sustainable and healthy and makes economic sense. We don't have to destroy the opportunity for people to make a living and to help charitable institutions. We want to do that with good green jobs.
Alan, there's actually a question that just came in, which I do want to ask you. I'm going to take a few extra minutes here. Grace asks, what can be done about the nations who feel at an existential threat, both economically and in terms of not having their voice effective any longer on the world stage because they are dependent on fossil fuel gains for just about everything?
What an excellent question. I'm going to exceed my time if I answer those
Yes,
questions.
you may exceed. I'm as God of this show, I'm granting you extra time.
Okay. Well, then I won't be worried about that. Thank you. Excellent question. So part of what I was talking about in those three focuses of Regeneration Global, this new alliance, and what is going to be talked about and presented at the EARTHSTOCK Summit, is that we have the solutions. I've always been about transition. Now, there are some real bad players, bad actors on this planet, greed and terrible things and terrorism and all that. But for the most part, everybody that's doing a capitalistic or other kinds of systems, they're producing products and manufacturing things, and people were trying to driven to, have the great freedom of being their own entrepreneurs or creating jobs and all that. And I always wanted to transition from where we are that's polluting to a non-polluting world that is more fair and equitable for everybody. And that means men, women, and every kind of person you can imagine. And quite frankly, this is what we've learned to do with technology and methodology. We have world-class experts. We have the solutions about fossil fuel generation. In the islands, I just addressed 28 island nations a few weeks ago in Honolulu that came because they're concerned about the climate. They're the first people being impacted by seawater rise already, and they were concerned about climate change. What we bring is kind of like a whole cloth approach to it. How do you transition from your diesel generators that are making electricity from very powerful and expensive and polluting fossil fuels? How do you change while we're trying to make change? Well, that transition is what we're all about. So we have fuels, bio-based fuels that go into those diesel generators, and right away they're changing the whole level of pollution and energy generation. Then we slowly transition into what their budgets and their culture can accept, and working in harmony with them to go into solar and wind and geothermal and water power. They're surrounded by islands, and everyone has, we're blessed on this planet from a fusion reactor 93 million miles away that powers all the life on this. The planet itself, geothermal energy, most people don't know. The core energy of the planet flows everywhere, and we can tap into that. And then wind and solar and everything else that's available. A bio-based economy is what we're pushing with the green economy, the sustainable, regenerative, bio-based economy, because you can make all the plastics in the world out of biological materials that are regenerative instead of fossil fuel and plastics. And that's part of the solution, is making the transition work so you slowly adopt and adapt into a fully 100%, 110, 120% renewable energy driven economy that powers all of your green factories and your biological opportunities in agriculture to make products for us. We can export and cause economic development and spread that throughout the world with good green products out of good green ventures and good green nonprofits. I hope that was a sufficient answer.
Grace Denise writes, what you're doing, Alan, is fabulous. And yes, the island nations are at an existential threat, clearly.
And the developing nations that have been trying to, get out of just pure survival, and the migration from climate change, and these issues that are about food. Lester Thurrow from the World Watch Institute said we are facing three major problems. One is energy. It drives everything, and how we're polluting the world and carbon and everything else. And we have the solutions. That's the problem, is we have to adapt those solutions that would cause this for all of us to enjoy a clean environment powered by clean energy everywhere in every part of the world. There's a sustainable renewable energy. The second one was water. And the third was food. If we don't cure those issues, we're in big trouble, not only with the layer of climate change. You know, Al Gore, that I worked with when he was vice president in the 90s, we did the Eco Expo, the Green Business Conference, and he told the world the sky is falling, literally, you know, and we got to do something about that. And we have the solutions at Green to Gold and Earthstock, and a lot of you that are there, you know, combining those forces like Michael's doing at the Earthstock Summit in both a spiritual drive and understanding about health and well-being, but also how we can change through the transition to sustainability. We have the answers. We have the technology. We have the ways to make the inclusive green economy to the benefit of everybody on this planet and all the species that we share the planet with.
Alan, you are very, very inspiring, and thank you for your lifelong work that you've done. I've brought Michael back onto the camera here, Michael. So any comments you want to mention, Michael, about his participation in the festival?
Well, it's very interesting because when we start, and again, it's about deep listening right now. So, you know, Alan and I started to work together, and then one day we actually sat down to look at all the people we know, all the solution areas, all the resources, all the global contacts. And it's like, wow, just the two of us, like if we could form an alliance and work coherently together, how successful. And then we said, well, let's put together this summit and invite other people from other hoops. Because I want to just say, it's not about just Alan and I, it's not about Earthstock, the event. It's about all the efforts, all the opportunities, all the way that people are awakening and being activated right now to come together to be the solutions for many of these issues. So when we started to have a communication as Earthstock's evolving, the formulation of our Wisdom Keepers Council, which are many of people from Chief Phil Lane's group that I spent time with in Palenque that are here on this call. My relationship goes back to Phil to 30 years ago at World Unity in the White Buffalo. The people that Alan knows, I mean, the people that you know, Scott. So it's been this whole thing, being invited in by Chief Phil Lane, meeting Ben Bowler, who will be presenting, meeting John Raymer, who's going to be involved in the event. It's like, we can do this. So someone said the other day, they said, you're such an apocalyptimist. And I had to think about that for a minute. It's like, I could work with that. I'm very optimistic because, again, many of us, whether it's through arts, culture, spirituality, working with people, working with media, working with health, working with green technology, working with, I mean, even right now, we're looking at sovereignty, different models of governance, of how we can work together, the idea of traditional knowledge and sitting in council. All these things are starting to, all the plates are starting to spin for Earthstock. So I will say it's been very much going out on a limb of belief and faith to even put this out to the world. And again, we're doing a very small, modest event in Crestone for a few hundred people. And a lot of the event is like, it's actually a retreat at the same time. But like Alan was saying, there's already the crowning of this cosmic potentiality that's being birthed through this event. And as Alan was saying, I mean, the incredible amount of people and organizations and resources that are bringing forward this architecting and engineering of this new paradigm in our solution areas, it's truly humbling and mind-blowing and inspiring, especially, you know, as we're going through, you know, a lot of us through many transitions, and a lot of us have been through a lot of pain and alienation and trauma. So again, everyone is welcome to the table in that spirit of unity. And
it's going to be broadcast, so we won't be just to the people that attend. It will be a global broadcast, and I'm proud to see that happen. I'm glad we put that together with the Regeneration Media.
And there's a lot of pieces on the table. I want to just also emphasize this is open-ended right now. We have 7 more weeks to collaborate and co-create this event, all culminating on Sunday, which we're going to be doing a Ho'oponopono, some reconciliation. We're working with the lighting of the Sacred Eighth Fire. We actually have the daughter of Wallace Black Elk, the family of Black Elk Speaks, who we've talked about doing a mending of the sacred hoop. But it's all of these things working together, whatever your skill set and your power is. And I just want to, again, thank Alan for his patience, his mentorship, his 50 some odd years of incredible work. And now we're realizing that the resources, the solutions are here. We just have to come together and kind of deploy them and actualize them. And no one is left out. This is an inclusive movement. Even if you're doing something in your home about, hygiene products, cosmetics, household cleaners, if you do a victory garden, your own food sustainability, or growing your organic garden, putting on solar panels, living a little more gently, we need big solutions, but it also takes every individual to do their part. Even if we're just talking about things like recycling and stop using the plastics, which have such a horrible impact. So again, thank you so much. And I feel complete. There's so many other great people here that their voices, have a lot to share this evening. And again, thank you so much, Alan.
Alan, it's a pleasure to meet you. I didn't know you prior to tonight, and I'm glad to know you and really grateful for the work that you've done. By the way, Michael, you mentioned the eighth fire. The photograph behind me, I'll move out of the way, that is the picture taken of the eighth fire. And I use it as a backdrop because I love to see the phoenix rising from the fire. Isn't that extraordinary? This fire that Chief Phil was talking about lighting for years, as long as I've known him. It finally happens. They take the picture and look at that image of the smoke and the phoenix rising from the fire. And that could, if we take that and put it along with your wonderful word of being an say it again?
Optimist.
Optimist.
It sounds like a sea creature,
Right. And here comes a rare apocalyptimist.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to say mahalo to everybody. You know what that means here in Hawaii. It's a beautiful thank you, like aloha. Again, I've got to leave, but I've just been moved by the music and who's already been on. And I wish everybody great success and health. And please participate. And if you want to bring what we do to your local community, get a hold of Michael or me, because we want to help. That's what Build Back Green and preventing the disasters is all about. So again, mahalo.
And Alan, before you go, I just want to say the birth, Alan went to Maui to start this transition to sustainability academy and project. After he was there, I think it was about a year, talk about lemons into lemonade. Then there was the Maui fire when we realized, wow, transition to sustainability, we need to be like green responders. So at that point, 5,000 gallons of compost tea was deployed to remediate the soil, emergency shelters, alternative energy for people. And I want to say they're not out of it yet. So, the fact that Alan is there on the ground, literally dealing with this every day is truly fascinating. So, he was kind of deployed in the situation. And what happened after that was the hurricane in Acapulco. And then we met Adriana Alvarez and Hector Benton and others. And now we're trying to work on a project there also. And we've made a lot of progress. And again, I don't want to get into an infomercial about it, but, we're all part of the change. We just have to find where we can fit into this puzzle and doing it in a way, because we're human beings, in the most humble way, in the most gentle way, because we have a lot of dynamic people and personalities. And we have to, most importantly right now, we have to reconcile the past so we can move forward and together as a humanity and a civilization, and not as a countercultural statement, but the potentially that our survival, our health, our quality of life, our children really depend on our ability to do that.
For my generation, peace to all of you, and thank you very much, and mahalo.
Thank you, Alan. Again, thank you for the wonderful work you're doing.
Thank you.
All right. Alan is going to exit stage left, and Nan Claudia is coming on stage right. Please tell us about this wonderful person. Michael.
Oh, so I will say, part of the idea of creating this event and my history in doing events in the past, this has to be midwifed from the collective consciousness. So we talked about a grandmother's council, a wisdom keepers council, which has probably 10 or 12 people on it. But I want to say we're very honored and privileged because Nan Claudia actually wears both hats. She's initiated in Mayan tradition as a wisdom keeper, and she's also a grandmother, and she brings a lot of knowledge and also production skills. So she's a very multidimensional person, and I really love and appreciate her, and also her partner James Whitetree. So welcome, Nan Claudia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Michael, for the introduction. Thank you, Scott, for hosting us. And thank you to all of your lovely faces. From my heart to your heart, I am Ishbalam Kame. That is my Mayan name. My birth name is Claudia Valdes Vega. And I'm coming to you right now from the Canadian Shield. I'm in Ontario, Canada. And I will be at EARTHSTOCK bringing to you the messages from the Maya Quiche tradition and bringing the elements and the knowledge and the wisdom of the Quetzal, or how we like to refer it, Cucumats, or the feathered serpent. In the Maya tradition, we believe to be a whole person, we have to work on the spirit, the emotional, the mental, the physical, all of the different aspects of the body. So not only am I wearing the hat and bringing some of the Mayan wisdom, but I also steward 42 acres here in Ontario off grid. We are on wells, solar power, so the regeneration and trying to be sustainable is extremely important in these days. One of the reasons I am loving what Michael's putting here together is that it is so well-rounded. Every day there is a different element and topic that we are touching on. This summit is not only, I love Michael's words when he says ear tickling. We're not just ear tickling. We are really networking, and we're coming together with solutions and actions for the future. So we do have a grandmother's council. There's a men's circle. There's a youth, teenage, young adults group that's joined as well. And me personally, I have been on the Union of the Eagle, Condor, Quetzal, and Hummingbird for the last 2 years. The year before that, I was on a pilgrimage as well with the majority of that group, where we did a lot of ceremony, and we went to major sacred sites in Mexico and in Guatemala. So I will be doing ceremony and bringing probably some workshops on behalf of and alongside of the other grandmothers. Me and my partner will also be helping clear space. In my tradition, I'm a sumadora. So I will be walking around with my smudger and my copal and sage and palo santo. So we will have the 3 medicines from the north, the central, and the south to keep the energy clean, smooth, vibrant, and uplifting. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nan Claudia. And since you were part of the whole Palenque thing and the 8th lighting of the 8th fire, help weave the thread between that experience and what's going to be happening at EARTHSTOCK for us.
There is a day that we were talking about prophecies, and it also comes into the indigenous wisdom, the original teachings. So it's all interwoven. This prophecy, it is about how the different energies come together, the masculine, the feminine, as well as all of the people of Abya Yala, how we can walk, how we can fly together in balance, and how we can support each other to make that happen. So there's a lot of things that the council is working on that I'll probably be bringing to Crestone and talking a little bit about that. There's projects that are going on in Mexico, La Ventana, that is being, run with Adriana. Nana Mima, that's on the council, is starting some wonderful projects in Guatemala So from being on the council, there's different things that are being spearheaded. There's different summits, festivals, workshops, presentations that we're doing all over the place to get, the word out. And all of these prophecies are all culminating and coming to be at the same time. So the time is now.
It is extraordinary, isn't it? How many prophecies and how many from so many different cultures, so many different points of view that this is it. This is an extraordinary time on our planet, a truly extraordinary time.
Absolutely.
Now, I would love for you to share with the audience a little bit more about the work you do, the Small Medium at Large. That's her website, everybody. The Small Medium at Large, Claudia Valdez, Chick and Spiritual Medium. Can you tell us a little bit more about the work you do and maybe some of the people you enjoy working with, and some of our audience might want to work with you?
Absolutely. I am quite busy and I've got different baskets that I'm helping weave. I've been part of the pagan community here in Ontario, traveling around with the festivals. Not only am I a steward of the 42 acres of land that we call Stoneheart, there's a link on that website. You can take a look at what we're building. We've got ancestor altars, we've got a Mayan mesa, we've got a 9-ring labyrinth built throughout the forest. We've got a great fairy trail that people walk through, and we've put gnomes and fairies and shiny things and all sorts of stuff throughout the path. We have again different healing spaces on the land there. In Hamilton, Ontario, I've also got a small shop where I sell metaphysical, spiritual items, candles, incense, tarot cards. I am a natural born psychic medium. And besides my teenage years where it started to, scare me, and I dropped it for a little bit, I decided to pick it back up in my early 20s and really just dedicate myself to spirit. And instead of being afraid, really working with the ancestors. I am a channel and an oracle, so I do bring messages for the collective, but as well, I tap in and I tune into the individual ancestors, family, friends that have passed away and crossed over into spirit.
Oh, beautiful.
So I bring through the afterlife.
Dr. Laura has a question.
Yeah.
She asks, Nan, could you please tell us a little bit more about the 6th sun, which is what we are in right now?
Oh, I think that's way too much to go into.
Oh, okay.
Totally caught me off guard. And that's big. That's like talking about the Mayan calendar. I mean, the Mayan calendar is a living, breathing, ever-evolving calendar that teaches us how to live within, the heaven and the earth, the cosmos, and everything within it. The 6th sun, like the 8th fire, like the prophecy of the union of the birds, they're really in depth.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll touch upon that at EARTHSTOCK. Tune in.
That's a good one.
Right? Tickets are on sale now for anyone who can't join us. So that has been released. Tickets are on sale to join us. We have a GoFundMe. Please support.
Beautiful. Nan, Claudia, thank you again. It's good to see you again. God bless you so much.
Thank you so much for having us on your show, Scott. It's lovely to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Many blessings.
You have such beautiful energy, just beautiful. All right, well, time for some more digestion. Time to move and groove. So I'm looking forward to seeing Maureen and Jerry and everybody else moving and grooving and dancing, because it's time for some more Omoshar.
Yep, that would be me. And Nan, I agree. You have such amazing energy. In fact, everybody, the presenters this evening has amazing energy. And it's lovely to see all these hoops coming together. And I'm so honored and grateful to be a part of it. And anyway, now for something completely different. And well, not really, but here we go. This is a sign. Here's another sign. Here's another sign. Now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. Love is reaching through the hearts of me and you. Our world is waking up to our different points of view. 'Cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. So shake yourself free of the past. No longer do we walk in the dark, and show each other what we can do, and let the light shine right on through. Let the good of humanity stay, and let the dross simply fade away, and let the mother return to us all, so that love can have her way. 'Cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. Because love is reaching through the hearts of me and you. Our world is waking up to our different points of view. Cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. So shake yourself free of the past. No longer do we walk in the dark.
Let's all give a big, big twinkle, because now we realize that we have been hypnotized.
And no longer do we walk in the dark.
Magnetized by the great Omashar.
Namaste.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm wondering, did that song start with that beautiful opening line. Like, did you get that idea of we've been hypnotized? Did it start with that thought and then the song built out of there?
This one I'm kind of wondering because this is a recent one. This was written within the last 8 or 9 weeks, and something must have triggered it because often I will have a book and I'll just have a one word or one sentence will come through my mind and it'll say to me, "That's a song, you know," and so I'll quickly write it down. And so I think I wrote "hypnotized" there, and I probably put on one of my hypnotizing backgrounds and just dove in. And this one was rhythm oriented. And so I think it was this one here. Woohoo! And that'll do it for you every time. But this one really did write itself again. And that's all I have to say on that. I can't remember any more than that because
Okay.
I live too much in the present. And
And just on the present, anything you want to share about what's really stood out for you tonight in our show tonight?
I'm just so impressed with all of the effort that is going in to educate us about all of the different activities in the world because they all feel so fruitful, so possible, and so happening. And the honor or the privilege of being amongst the show and amongst all of the people that are drawn to this show is that there are not just a handful of us, there are hundreds of groups around the world, thousands of groups, in fact, that are joining together and doing this kind of work. And you look globally, it's amazing. So there really is an uprising, and I really do feel that the tipping point has happened in that there are more focusing into the positive and the regenerative than is necessary for the entropy of the planet. I think we're good, but it's not a matter of saying we're good and going back and being on a hammock. It's, we now have to fill our moccasins and walk them, and hand in hand with each other, because we found people that we can trust who are heart-centered, and that is such a blessing.
Thank you so much, Omar Shar. As Margie just wrote, love listening to Omar Shar. He's like the fifth Beatle, only better. And Omar Shar, you're such a miracle. Maureen writes, Swami Vivekananda would say the great uprising.
The great uprising, exactly. Swami Vivekananda, I know. We'll have to find him again sometime because he inserts some good irreverent.
It is time to have the Swami back on the show. I agree with that.
All right, ciao.
All right. Well, we have another wonderful friend. Carol just wrote, I see so many of our global peace tribers in almost every meeting I'm in, Zoom rooms around the world. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And it's really true. Unity Earth, Soul Search, we're all kind of finding these ways to weave together. And our next guest, it's a good example of that. Our next guest is a wonderful woman named Hope Fitzgerald. Some of you saw her on the show previously when she was here collaborating with Gary Malkin. But then, lo and behold, she's also going to be presenting at EARTHSTOCK. And I thought any excuse to have Hope back on the show again, because both times you've been on before, Hope, I've always been very impressed with the wonderful work you're doing. For people who don't know or remember, she's a spiritual teacher, intuitive dowser and coach, healer, end-of-life midwife, and a certified neurofeedback practitioner. And of course, when she was here with Gary Malkin, you were talking about the wonderful work you're doing with graceful passages and helping people to not only transition, but also those of us who are helping people to transition. What are you going to be doing with EARTHSTOCK, Hope? And welcome back.
Well, thank you so much. And boy, oh boy, what a lineup tonight. And I've been introduced during the show, I've been introduced to people I have not been aware of, and I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. And I have to thank Shannon MacArthur, because it is through Shannon that I am invited to this incredible event, and I'm so humbled to be a part of it. What I think I'm bringing to the table is the Infinity Wave, this tool that came to me in a series of visions back in 2010 that I've been teaching about ever since. And if there's one thing that I can say about the infinity wave, it is a great unifier. So for all these different people with all their different approaches, the infinity wave has the mechanism to pull everyone together into the same boat, so to speak. It is the shape of the infinity, and it could go up or down, sideways or upwards. And it's made of flowing water. And there's a whole reason for the geometry. It's an old geometry. We know that it's got its own magical powers. But the water is an extra element. And it's not just because the very beautiful fact that water is conscious, and people like Veda Austin are making us everywhere aware of that nowadays, based on, even before that, Dr. Emoto. But the infinity wave itself is a representation of an extremely purified energy of love and compassion. So high, let's say 10th dimensional, not to get into the weeds on that, but so high and pristine that we really don't feel it so much. It's not a feeling. We don't have that on this planet. We have emotion, but the infinity wave is a higher vibe than that. And the effect that it has is to lift all boats into a higher place very quickly and effortlessly. So I think that's what I'm bringing to the party. Shannon, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what I'm going to be sharing. And it's also a tool for spiritual evolution. And if there's anything that I have taken away from this evening, is that it's all talking about the next phase of our existence. And so the infinity wave is here as a tool to help us evolve without so much struggle, without the breaking free of the ways it used to be in the past, which was very dualistic. Things took a long time, No, we don't have time anymore. Everything is speeding up so much. We need something that's very quick and effective. And the infinity wave is. So I'm going to be sharing about that and maybe running some practices. I'm not quite sure, but that's my contribution.
Beautiful, beautiful. And tell us, are you still doing with Gary, are you still doing the end-of-life midwifing work?
Well, yes, what Gary and I have a website called you-awake.com that was really born out of a couple of things. One was his Graceful Passages work, which of course most people know about. And I learned about it 20 years ago. And before I ever knew who Gary was, I was employing the Graceful Passages for my own mother's passing. And it changed my life. So what we did was, Gary has wanted to do a workshop on Graceful Passages for all this time. And when we met and I introduced him to the infinity wave, we just said, okay, now's the time. So we put together a Graceful Passages workshop, which is really focusing more on grief literacy, how to move through grief. How to emerge out the other side, and we have a 4-step process for that. The other thing that happened was post 9/11, not 9/11, post the pandemic. I was noticing that everybody was sort of going about life, but in a kind of frozen state, not quite fully back in and in a vital state. So we put together this workshop called You Awake, Mastering the Art of Change, because so much change was happening so quickly, stacked one on top of the other. And most people, when that much change occurs, we tend to freeze. We stay in the cave, right? We don't want to go out because the big animal might be out there. It's scary. So we just cling. But that's not how we want to live. We want to live in flow. We want to be in a flow state. We want to be vital. So that workshop, the You Awake Mastering the Art of Change workshop, is really more addressed for change literacy. And we actually have a workshop coming up in July. So yes, we are still working together very much hand in hand. And these one-day workshops are actually pretty miraculous at turning people around very quickly.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to go to your website real quickly. I was able to find it while you were chatting, and it's a beautiful website, actually. I really like it. But let's share it with our audience. Here it is. And again, if you're interested in learning more about the work she's doing with Gary that she just described, you-awake.com. And look at these beautiful faces. That's where you can learn all about what they're doing. She mentioned courses, so here's where you can find out about the different courses. And here's the big event she was just talking about happening on July 20th. There she is. And that's Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3:30, 12 p.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern. And thank you so much, Hope, for being with us.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. And thank you, Shannon, for inviting me to be with these incredible human beings. I'm very excited about it.
I'm going to bring Shannon up real quick so you can see her. And hi, Shannon.
Hello, Hope and Scott. This is very exciting. I'm so glad that we have this opportunity, Hope, to highlight you and your work. When you came to Humanity Rising was the first time that I got exposed to your work, and you introduced me to Veda Austin. Oh my gosh. And this, you have done amazing work. And I knew Gary Malkin because I was part of Peace Week last year, and I met him there, and I worked with him there, and he was delightful. And so you were his excuse for not working with me.
Oh,
Yeah. So when I met you, it was like, oh, well, of course. And so I'm really glad to know the other part of the story and what you have brought with the infinity wave. I now use in my meditations. That figure 8, that flow, going down to the earth and up to the source, and having them meet in the middle. Oh my gosh. And your voice is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shannon. I have been in the last month or so, a lot of people have started coming my way, and I've been hearing fresh voices talking about how the infinity wave. I just feel like there's a readiness now that people are hungry for it. So they're telling me day after day how it is just making life easier and more full. So I'm really happy to hear that you're having a similar experience.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I think Scott is going to be introducing me next, and so I'm looking forward to that. And so I get to talk some more, and
Good.
I'm so
I
glad.
will bow out.
What a beautiful transition. And actually, Michael was going to do the introduction of you. But Michael, if you can hear us, turn on your camera and come join us.
Absolutely. I would love the honor, because I want to say Shannon MacArthur picked up the staff of leadership, and she's helping to actually be an associate producer and I just put it in the chat, every morning from 9 to 11 a.m. she's hosting conversations and panels, which she'll talk about. But we met through many other platforms, and she just stepped up and said, yes, I'm all in. And that's kind of how the whole EARTHSTOCK collaboration, co-creation field has happened. People are stepping in and creating this event. So I want to welcome Shannon MacArthur and all of her wonderful hats that she wears and things that she does. So welcome back from Teotihuacan, and great to have you here and creating with you.
It is such a pleasure, Michael. When I heard of EARTHSTOCK uh, happening and bringing the movement together in order to have conversations and make action happen rather than just talk. I felt that it was really important. And to weave my community of Humanity Rising, I'm the moderator for the after chat of Humanity Rising. And we're a family now. We've been meeting since day 60 of Humanity Rising. And that started back in 2020 when the lockdown happened. And we've been meeting in Stan's Zoom room. He put the invitation in the chat, said, come on over to my place when this is over. And 15 of us showed up that day. And Stan, thank you so much for being here and a part of my life. It has been an amazing ride. Because of the after chat, I got to go to Making Weird the Norm in the UK in November of 22 and I went up Glastonbury Tor on the dark of the moon, and 2 weeks later I walked up Mount Sinai, taking with me the stones of peace that were given to me, woven by inspired words that told me that going forward there shall be peace. I realized that could not be a message just for me because my peace is incomplete and it's not true unless you share it too. And so I have been doing my best to tell people about the stones of peace, the promise of Mother Earth, and to encourage people to hold on to the love and joy and hope and possibility, hope and possibilities that are intrinsic in our day-to-day lives. And it is in the after chat that I get to speak my messages, and I'm very happy to be a part of that conversation with Stan and the other participants in Humanity Rising. They come from the chat of Humanity Rising. Register at humanityrising.solutions and follow the link to the after chat, and we'll all talk together.
And Shannon, if I may for another moment sing your praise, she'll be starting every day again from 9 to 11 based on the theme of each day. Monday is grandmothers, women, and youth at the forefront of the beginning of this event. Tuesday is ancient knowledge, prophecies, and future visions. Wednesday, we're looking at peace and justice, also alternative models of economics and governance, sociocracy, sovereignty. Thursday is ecology, environment, sustainability, Professor Tratner, others. Friday will be health and wellness, spirit, mind, body. Saturday is all about unity through the arts. But I wanted to mention, because we talked with Jamin recently, and not only are we going to be broadcasting, but we're going to have literally, well, go ahead, Shannon, please.
Thank you so much, Michael. It is a pleasure to talk about the conversation.cc because I've known them now for almost 4 years. And that is where I hold my Gaia's Zoom room every Tuesday night. And they are opening their Zoom rooms for conversation every day of the festival, the summit. And it's to be able to have common ground where we can meet and talk to the presenters and talk to each other and talk about what's important to us and important to each other, and find new ways of creating harmony within this one that we are. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Shannon, there's so many different things that you're doing, so many different websites that you've given me, so I'm not sure which one. So the one that I've kind of chosen, at least initially, is this one here. And it's sunlight sparkling on the waters.weebly.com. And it's spelled S-O-N. So sun, like, the boy that you have, light sparkling on the waters.weebly.com. but that's where we can learn all about you. And you've got a lot of different things that you're doing. Uh, is there a place you'd like to direct our audience?
Well, there's a couple of things. One of the things that I'd like to mention is that my name was given to me. Sunlight Sparkling on the Waters was given to me by Mom. The magic and ordinary moments that happen to everybody. For me, it's another word, another name for God. And it is one that I prefer because when you say the word God, it has all the connotations of the past. But when you say mom, it's a different, um, oh, she's different and she plays with you and she plays with me and she gave me that name. And that's why the website is called that. I would like to mention Jim's Nuggets because in Humanity Rising, we have this wonderful host. The president of Ubiquity University is Dr. Jim Garrison, and he is very eloquent, very learned, and he is extremely inspiring. And he has inspired me to take his words, transcribe them, and put them into a blog. Last week, was it only last week? I went to Teotihuacan, Mexico, to join him and more than 70 others on pilgrimage. And we went through ceremony and because he was inspired by the Kogi message from Mother Earth that we were talking about in the chat just here a little while ago. And that has inspired everything since September of this year. And the pilgrimage and trying to see past the bad news of that prophecy from the Kogi into how we can respond in a good way. Rather than throwing our hands up in despair, our leaders are never going to bow down to Mother Earth, silly people. Instead, we have to find our own way. And it's true. Each one of us needs to respond to Mother Earth's message in our own way. And well, there's just so much to say. Thank you so much for listening.
So thank you, Shannon. Clearly, I've learned that you're a very important part of what's making this all happen. So God bless you in this chapter of your life and all that you're doing. All the wonderful work with Jim Garrison, the wonderful work with Michael, EARTHSTOCK. Thank you. God bless you for who you are.
Scott, if you don't mind, I would like to mention that Ubiquity University is offering credits to people who are involved with EARTHSTOCK towards educational credits. If you go and attend and write a paper on your experience, you can get credits from Ubiquity University.
So just to be clear, if somebody attends EARTHSTOCK and they write about it, they write an essay or they write about it, they can get credits. And how do those credits work?
Let me just credits towards a graduate degree at Ubiquity University are available for participants in EARTHSTOCK Summit upon completion of a post paper related to your experience of the summit.
Wow.
For more information, contact admissions at Ubiquity University.
Can you take whatever you're reading, copy it, and put it in the chat box, please?
I will do that. That would be a pleasure.
That would be
Oh,
that's a good thing to know. Michael, anything you want to add?
No, I'm just going to be quiet, and I'm just so inspired and overwhelmed and just here in support. So there's other people I know that wanted to speak. Thank you. I would like to say, I know it's been a long call. I really want to inspire people to stay to the end. We had a couple of people submit some theme songs, and I do want to kind of just mention very briefly, we have a whole nother second wave of wisdom keepers that want to come to this event. So we did start a very targeted and specific GoFundMe campaign. In all of this enthusiasm, I need to ground it because we are trying to bring other delegates from South America and North America, including Marcello Zaiduni from Bolivia, part of the Eagle Condor Council, Hector Benton, Jennifer Black Elk, and others. So, you know, practically logistics, my production brain is kicking in like, you know, please help support, and everything is all tax deductible. But no, I'm just overwhelmed and super inspired. Thank you so much, Scott.
Sure. So there is a GoFundMe, and if you're feeling, hopefully some of you are feeling inspired, and this money will go towards bringing Indigenous elders to the summit. So if you just go to GoFundMe and do a search for support Earthstock, it'll come up easily for you. Here is the link. Link has also been put into the chat box by Michael. And so let's do that. Let's be generous. Let's support this really wonderful, wonderful organization. I certainly am grateful for everything that you're doing, Michael.
And I do want to be respectful. I didn't openly post that. I sent it to you, Scott. I didn't want to go outside of whatever your protocol is and just be like, throw money at us. So again, it's there to be shared if that's appropriate. Thank you.
Everybody, please throw money at them. I'm putting it in the chat box officially. I didn't realize you had sent it to me as a direct message. It is now in the chat box for everybody that's in our Zoom room to see. And for those of you that are not in our Zoom room, you should be. And it's really easy to do that. I think I'll go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to change my virtual background. Press script change. Go to the Global Peace Tribe. And that's who we are. We are the Global Peace Tribe. And we've been doing shows since the beginning of the pandemic, well over 4 years now. We currently do a show every Wednesday night and every Saturday night. And then we do special events. Like tomorrow morning, we're doing a really fun event, a Sacred Sunday show tomorrow morning, coming live from the Enlightenment Expo. This is a great time to join the Global Peace Tribe because our new season begins on July 1st, which is Monday. And we go season by season. So July, August, and September is our next season. So if you register, you're going to get all the Zoom room links to all of our shows. That's Awakening World on Wednesday and Saturday night, and our special events like we're doing tomorrow morning. You'll get the Zoom room links, and then you're in the Zoom room chatting away with our amazing guests and the wonderful Global Peace Tribe community. So go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com. You can scroll around and learn all about the shows that we do and see a lot of the people that are regular presenters on our show. Antoinette was just on, Patron Antoinette was just on last Wednesday. There's our friends, the Twin Array. We do meditation every evening. There's a lot going on. Just click register for the new season. That'll take you to the link to register for the Awakening World. And of course, for all of you that are in the Zoom room right now, thank you for being subscribers. And just remember that it's important that you resubscribe. Now, most of you already have, but for those of you that haven't resubscribed yet, I'm putting that into the chat box right now. Now's the time to do it so you don't miss any of our shows. And we've got a lot of really good things planned. Well, it's my pleasure to bring up that wonderful couple. We like to call them the honeymooners. They just got back from an amazing trip to Australia. And of course, I'm talking about our beloved friends, Connie and Andrew. And they have been on a journey. They have been traveling in search of our future. So tell us a little bit about In Search of Our Future, that adventure that you're on. And then when you're ready, let me know and I'll play your video.
Okay, well, I just want to say we're thrilled to be here with this Earthstock family. It just seems that Spirit has ramped up this coming together of people who have such long, deep connectivity of trust and heart over decades. It's astounding. And all the people that Michael has known and we have known, it's like, oh my God, it's phenomenal. And it happened in Australia as well. It was like, wow, just this uplink, because we've got a job to do, and the deep levels of trust and connectivity are facilitating that movement forward. So we're just thrilled to be offering at EARTHSTOCK our trust frequency work, and it has to do with realizing prophecy and realizing prophecy through accessing the trust frequency. It's a workshop we're doing, and we're doing it with Maureen Edwardson. We often work with Maureen because she clears the pathways for accessing our true nature, our hearts, and our 10 assumptions for a new paradigm, so that one can really take on these assumptions if one resonates. And these assumptions take us into an understanding of the nature of the universe that goes beyond right, wrong, good, evil, victim, perpetrator. It takes us into that frequency where we understand that it's only love, and it's a conscious loving universe for shifting frequencies. Because from our understanding, we're not going to get to this new earth in this lower vibration when we're still stuck in victim, perpetrator, right, wrong, good, evil. So it's a huge leap. And our dear friend Maureen helps people to clear out those old assumptions, those unexamined, erroneous assumptions about the nature of the universe. And because we've been attached to those, we think that's how the universe works, because we were told that as children, and the whole culture revolves around it. And we've got to let that go, because we're being called into a higher frequency now. And to get there, to go with the earth as she rises in frequency, we've got to shed that. And Maureen's work with IRT facilitates that. So that's one of our offerings. And our other offering that we're bringing to the EARTHSTOCK is our film. And Andrew will tell you a bit about that.
So yeah, that's something I think that has not been mentioned this evening, Michael. The film festival aspect of EARTHSTOCK, there is a film series that will be screening at the local college, I believe. And we have just returned, as you know, from Australia with some brand new material. We go in search of the future, Scott, and it may sound strange, but in our search for the future, where do we go? We go to the most ancient origins of our species. So the first film, as you will see in the little 2-minute trailer that Scott will play in a couple of minutes here, you will see some very beautiful buns. And I'm not kidding, because these are basically little amazing human beings with the most beautiful rear ends dancing around a fire. And I'm just being funny there, but it's beautiful. I'm so proud of having got that footage 20 years ago, friends, with the Bushmen of the Kalahari. You know them from The Gods Must Be Crazy. They carry the world's oldest DNA. They carry some of the world's most beautiful, amazing, relevant wisdom to our current situation. And to fast forward to 2024, we've just returned from Australia, where we went in search of the same ancient elders, this time the Aboriginals, so-called, or the ancient custodians of the sacred country in Australia. And the beauty that we returned with is absolutely gorgeous. So we'll be screening something at EARTHSTOCK. I'm not sure where we'll get with that. We will certainly have at least a 20-minute high-quality presentation to make there. Plus, in Australia, we took the original film, In Search of the Future 1, and upscaled it. I had a feeling, so I took with me the master files, and we upscaled it to high definition. It was shot in the old standard definition format. It is now reborn, remastered, and we will be showing that for the first time at EARTHSTOCK. So that's a bit of a report there.
And we were with Maureen in Australia.
She's in the film.
Yeah, she's in the
film.
film.
Scott, and as is As are all of you eventually one of these days, one of these ways, as we travel and get these interviews captured.
And Maureen was so responsible for so much of the interconnectivity in Australia. And she had never been there, but she had a following in Australia for her IRT.
Yeah.
And so the magic just wove this incredible 3 months there.
Yeah.
And we were just so cared for by everyone who drove us, who housed us, the Aboriginal elders who invited us to the corroboree, and all that good stuff. And the Mungo Man, the celebration of the 50 years of the founding of Mungo Man, 42,000, what did I say?
Founding.
Founding.
He was founded.
The discovery by Jim Bowler, the father of Ben Bowler of Unity Earth.
Think
So
about
I mean,
that, a
just pure magic.
42,000-year-old perfectly preserved skeleton of in a ritual, highly sophisticated, highly civilized burial 42,000 years ago. I mean, it's just extraordinary what we are discovering here and what we have been able to bring to the story that is this thing that we call In Search of the Future. And I'll just mention there's another thing happening also but it's called Summit for the Future, and it's at
the
the
UN.
United Nations, September 19th, and it looks like we're getting involved with that as well. So that's really interesting. The future is now. The future, if we don't get to the future right now, who knows if we let the future just happen by default, we don't know. So there's wisdom emerging, and we're so just joyful. And I just want to say, Maureen, you're looking so great, so beautiful. It's so good to see you with everything you've been through. You look totally reborn.
Yeah. It's so wonderful. And as far as we're concerned, the only way out is up to a higher frequency. So everyone do your work, shed those old patterns and old thinkings and those wounds. Go and do the process of coming to loving yourself, all of yourself that you brought to the party. You promised to bring a party, and it's you, and it's all of you, and it's just so important to do that shadow work, to get up individually, get up into that higher frequency, to know that it's all love. Nothing has ever happened to us, it's happened for us. So let's have a look at it's a 2-minute teaser of our first film, In Search of the Future, What Do the Wise Ones Know? So
2004, we started shooting this. It premiered at the Harmony Festival in Santa Rosa, California in 2007. So Scott, are you ready with that?
I sure am. And
Deborah Gusti, I'll tell you, Deborah
Deborah,
those folks gave us $10,000 to bring our elders to the Harmony Festival.
Yeah.
So see this interconnectedness? It's just so heartwarming. It's just like, oh my God. And Michael DiMartino's relationship with Wallace Black Elk, who was a great friend of mine for many decades, and now Wallace's daughter Jennifer.
It's all beautifully
and they're coming
connected.
It's like amazing.
All right, here we go.
Don't get a future automatically because most species are extinct. And our species certainly seems to be approaching extinction.
Many people have been concentrating on the Mayan calendar, which we all know ends December the 21st, 2012.
The Mayan calendar predicts that in the year 2012, there will be the end of life on this earth as we know it now.
The elders I worked with in Guatemala, they say we came from the stars, which would make us all extraterrestrial.
So you're saying that we are not monkeys, they're not going to become monkeys, or we are not coming from the monkeys?
Everything out there is spiritual. This is a spiritual world, a divine world.
All things, seen and unseen things, originate from this great power.
We can't live really spiritually healthy or physically healthy or mentally healthy without love.
What could a new consciousness bring to life on this planet?
Wake up and be aware. Do something. Change your way of life.
If we believe in scarcity, if we believe in separation, we will create poverty, we will create war.
The kind of shift I'm talking about in growing up is literally, strictly a change of how we think.
Where we are going is a great awakening of the magic in the human heart.
Beautiful great awakening is happening, that's for sure. Maureen, we've had you on the camera because you work with these two beautiful people. Is there anything you'd like to share about your wonderful work with them, or the film we just watched, or the film that they're always working on and making?
Well, I'd like to say how incredible they are, and their gifts and their talents and their experience is so wide-ranging across the whole spectrum. And Connie, I would invite you to put in your links into who you are and what you do, because it's most astounding. And I, even knowing how amazing you are, for quite a while, when I actually went to that link and read the depth of and the breadth of who you are, it's just so incredibly impressive. And I'm just so grateful and proud to be your close friends and your collaborator. We have so much fun together. So yes, it's going to be really an amazing time at EARTHSTOCK for those, especially ones that can be physically present. There's a limited number, so please, register soon to keep your place. And otherwise, yeah, that we're always having fun together. But yes, and in Search of the Future too, The Only Way Up Out is Up has so many luminaries. And I mean, the hours, the man hours, the camera hours that you both have put into over the last year, even just. I think it's just a year. It's astounding. How many people actually have you interviewed overall? Have you got a count?
150, probably.
I think between 120 and 150.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, they are.
It's beautiful, beautiful footage. And I want to
They're multi-gifted. They're multi-gifted. And so, I put a link into thetrustfrequency.net where you'll see also their relationship. And I know, Scott, with your focus on relationships on this show and in your life and in your work, they do have a Dance of Souls course, which is amazing. And it's self-regulated. You go through on your own pace. So check it out, everybody. There's so much available. And, we might hear and then forget, but I'm just here to remind you to tap into the brilliant essence of all the offerings that Connie and Andrew have gifted us with.
Absolutely. I'm a particularly big fan of the trust frequency. And when they explained their 10 assumptions and how when we change those assumptions, it changes our reality, it's so beautiful. And they are multi-talented. There's a lot that they do. So the best way, I think, to kind of tap in is to go to their Linktree site. Linktree is a wonderful way to, for people like Connie and Andrew, who do a lot of different things because they are authors, filmmakers, photographers, futurists, climate solutionaries, and also friends of all global peace tribers. And so if you go to their Linktree, that's where you can get all the good things. So just go to Linktree, Connie and Andrew, and everything there, sacred activism, all the different In Search of the Future teasers, videos, testimonials. There's a lot going on there. So that's a good place to go for all things Connie and Andrew.
Yeah, incredible depth and giftedness. Thank you.
And they're only each 21 years old. It's incredible, I tell you. They're just kids, right? Thank you, Connie and Andrew. Thank you, Maria. Love you guys so much. Well, we've seen Michael speak. We've seen Michael organize. We're about to see Michael play music. Michael has a whole, like many of us, we have had many lives, many careers, and he's put a lot of his own love of making music aside to produce things like the festival. But we are now going to give Michael the musician a moment to kind of lift our spirits in that wonderful way. Take it away, Michael.
Thank you again. And I want to say before I start one thing really quick, and I know there's so much talking. I love when we have the music. I mean, just the vibration. Like I've already gone through several cellular transformations and energetic shifts just over the last couple hours of this call. So I want to thank you, Scott, for what you do, Omashar. And I want to thank my brother, Jerry Anderson, for helping to make the connection. Before I share something very brief, kind of as a closing meditation here, I just want to say, in doing this great weaving in the time that we're in, we've all done our wholehearted best to do things in a good way and to support the evolution of humanity and consciousness. And sometimes we do things that are less than the most compassionate or enlightened aspects of us as human beings. And I bring this up just because I would like to say for myself that if there's any of you out there that I've ever did anything to bring any harm or injury or insult, that I, in this moment, offer absolute reconciliation and apology for any deficiencies or lack of vision or nearsightedness or farsightedness. So I think it's really important right now as we move together, especially towards just another one of our incredible gatherings. This one happens to be EARTHSTOCK Summit, that we find that place and that we're talking about this wave of compassion and reconciliation, so we can step into the highest embodiment of our most spiritually awake, evolved self. So I just want to apologize for any harm I've contributed to anyone in this community ever throughout the decades of this work. And I also just want to thank this incredible dream team of people who have assembled to help co-create this. So I want to move to sound, but I did want to say that I felt very important. And before I do that, again, I just want to take a moment. My partner's here, she's working, we're heading off to Mount Shasta, but in the spirit of the divine feminine, my partner is an artist from Bulgaria. She's not someone who likes to be in front of the camera, but I just want to share this image she's been working on during our meeting of the Divine Mother from her perspective.
Wow. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Wow.
So I just want to acknowledge her because she has to deal with me and she has to listen to me being on the phone like 16 hours a day. She's looking over. So I just want to send love to her, all of you, and as much as possible to help continue to do deep listening and acknowledge the feminine energy that's so crucial at this time as we all come into that place of feeling our maternal nature, the heart of compassion, so that we can do the work.
Michael, just before you start playing, I want to give Jerry a moment to share a little something too, since we brought Jerry up and we're doing kind of a semi-closing. We've still got Global Peace Drive announcements and one last Omashar song and new music, but this is a good time for Jerry to share a little something.
Yes, I wanted to let everybody know that you can be part of history. On Sunday, we're planning to do a synchronized drumming around the world. It's being led by a supreme team of drummers from Belize, on Sunday. So we're probably going to break the record of the number of drummers connected and synchronized all at one time for the EARTHSTOCK. So yes, please be with us on Sunday during the whole week. Your ticket buys you 11 hours of programming for 7 days in a row. So it's very reasonable, and you will be entertained and enlightened and educated during the Earth Summit.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So that's on that Sunday, the final day of the summit is going to be when the big drumming extravaganza is going to happen. And again, just to remind everybody, it's easy to learn all about, how to attend. Go to earthstocksummit.com. Earthstocksummit.com, a regenerative event for full spectrum change. And that's where you can get all the information, a lot of what we've been talking about, cross-pollinating the multiple spheres of influence. And I really just love how it's doing that. And definitely make sure you sign up for their free quarterly magazine. And let's see you all at the EARTHSTOCK Summit. And with that, while you're all signing and registering, Michael, with some beautiful music.
Thank you. And again, thank you, Jerry, for making the connection. And thank you, all of you out there, for whatever you're doing in whatever capacity, whatever way that you're showing up. And you can go to drumsaroundtheworld.com and register wherever you were going to be on that day to participate. I also want to thank Jim Petruzzi and some other people that are bringing their circles and their hoops together for that day. So,
what's that website again? Drums Around the World?
Drumsaroundtheworld.com. There's so many people. We had 156 people register. I do want to thank, at the end, we're going to show a song by Michael Camp from See the Change. I want to thank Michael Krause from Unify, Ben Bowler, who's putting together a spiritual panel. It's so beyond words. So I'm just honored to be here and do whatever I can to help serve our family and this cause. Is that coming through?
Beautiful.
Thank you. I just want to invite everyone, let's visualize all of our hoops merging into one great hoop as we mend the sacred hoop. The time of the eagle and the condor, the white buffalo, the return of the divine feminine being honored, the Maitreya Buddha, the Kalki avatar, whatever name for that great collective consciousness that will transform the planet as we all come together in that spirit of unity.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's all do a big twinkle for Michael, appreciating his music, appreciating his organizing, appreciating that very heartfelt apology that he gave. That was amazing. We all have a history. We're all perfectly human. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. We've all had our moments. So thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure to get to know you more effectively. Thank you so much. Well, I want to make a couple more announcements, and then we're going to have an Omashar song, and then we're going to have any final questions you might have for Michael or myself. But he mentioned drums around the world. So there's the website, and Sunday, August 25th, 2 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Mountain, 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern. Worldwide drumming for spiritual unity. And so people can tune in from wherever you are. It's going to be broadcast on a Zoom broadcast. It's all free. You can go to Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram. So that's really a very special event that we all want to know about. And again, one last time, if you have questions about EarthStock, just go to earthstocksummit.com, earthstocksummit.com. And that's where you'll get all your information. Now, I want to remind everybody that we've got something really special happening. You know, for 3 years, we did a Sacred Sunday show every Sunday morning. And then honestly, it just got to be too much for me to do Saturday night and Sunday morning. So we stopped doing Sacred Sunday. But tomorrow morning is going to be a very Sacred Sunday show. Our good friend Tangela, who all of you that are part of the Global Peace Tribe know by now, she's putting on an Enlightenment Expo, and it's going to be happening in San Rafael, which is very close to where I live. And so here it is. It's the San Rafael Enlightenment Expo. It goes from 10 o'clock in the morning until about 6 o'clock in the evening. It's at the Embassy Suites Hotel right there in San Rafael, right by the fairgrounds. And it's like a little mini Whole Life Expo. And so she invited my good friend Eden Amadora and I to do the opening ceremony. So for those of you who are in the San Francisco Bay Area, come and join us. Piper Dellums is going to come down from Sacramento. I'm going to meet Piper for the first time in person. And Eden and I will kick this off with a beautiful ceremony at 10 a.m. And that's then the start of a whole day's worth of experiences, culminating with John Gray. John Gray is going to be there. And we're kind of opening it, and John Gray is closing it. Now, of course, most of you don't live near San Rafael, but we are going to do a special online broadcast tomorrow morning for all of our Global Peace Tribers. We'll actually start at 9:30 in the morning, and Tangela is going to co-host the online experience along with myself. Omashar will be with us to do at least a couple of songs. Tangela will lead a Sacred Sunday meditation. And then we'll cut to what's happening at the Enlightenment Expo, where Eden and I will do our thing. And then immediately after Eden and I, hopefully Omashar will do another song. And then Darren Starwin is going to be with us at the expo. He's been on the show before, and he's teaching a wonderful hour-long workshop. Our workshop is going to be what you see: tips, tools, and practices for enlightening our lives. And Darren's going to teach a workshop on tips for mastery. So join us tomorrow morning from around 9:30 in the morning till around 12 noon. And it's going to be a truly sacred Sunday. Now, this is for all of our Global Peace Tribe subscribers. For those of you that are part of this current season, for anybody who hasn't subscribed yet, do it now. You'll get the link for tomorrow's Sacred Sunday show and all the Zoom rooms for July, August, September, all the Awakening World shows, all the special events. For those of you that are in our Zoom room that haven't resubscribed, I'm going to put that link into the chat box in a moment. And make sure that you sign up now. Do it right now so that you're properly registered. I've got a great summer full of events happening. Lori Grace and I are going to do more of a film series. We're going to be coming to you live from some of the festivals. I'm still considering actually going to EARTHSTOCK myself. Got to work certain things out. Michael's excited about that. So definitely make sure you join the Global Peace Tribe. And with that, I am going to turn it over to our Alpha and Omega man, Mr. Omashar. But don't go away, because after Omashar, Michael and I will take any final questions. And then we've got a really fun video to play for you. Here's Omashar.
In the air is a dream so old. It is born of our longing for a kingdom pure as gold. A kingdom pure as gold. I'm told by the ancients there's a glory true of a new world that's birthing in the hearts of me and you, the heart of me and you. La, 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 echoes of Eden and the Holy Grail, sent from the heavens, a message through the veil, a message through the veil. And so come all ye who are cold and lost to a new way of being and a kingdom pure as gold, a kingdom pure as gold. La, 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 la. Avalon.
That's all twinkle, beautiful, beautiful, beloved Omashar. Thank you so much, Omashar, for all that you do. You know, what's interesting about that song? That was the very first song I ever heard. When you sent me, whatever you sent me, I don't remember now if it was to your website or your YouTube, but that was the very first Omashar song that I ever heard.
Wow, that's nice. It was beautiful. That was actually written actually in Mount Shasta. And and I had a friend there, and I used to not like the word kingdom because it sounded like the patriarchy, but it is actually not. It was more the gold place within our heart, which is male and female, and kingdom is kin, K-I-N. So it's all of us as a family, and yeah. So there it is.
Hey, a reminder, everybody, that we can support Omashar by getting his music. And the best place to do it is Bandcamp. So if you go to omashar.bandcamp.com, that's where you can get his music. Yeah, each of these albums is just a gem. So that's definitely support him. I thought, of course, of you when we heard from our other friend that she had been on Glastonbury tour. And then 2 weeks later, hiking up Mount Sinai. Wow, how's that for a back-to-back?
What a trip that is, amazing.
Yeah.
And as I close here, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because I love our Sacred Sunday. And to do that intermittently would be great. I also love staying in bed on Sunday. However, there is something precious about coming out on a Sunday morning and just sharing that gem. So I shall see all of us 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, mañana.
Absolutely. And you know what? For our Zoom room audience, I'll be sending out an email in the morning with it, probably even tonight, but I'll also put the link to tomorrow morning's Sacred Sunday show. By the way, Michael, I've got you on camera.
You are on camera, brother, and we really felt you tonight. What a beautiful soul you are, man. Thank you.
Wow. A quick shout out, honestly, we have a team of like 15, 20 people working on this. We've had about 150 presenters apply. We're trying to weave it all together elegantly. We definitely can use support. And I wanted to also thank Tina Marie, who's dealing with hundreds of emails. I wanted to thank Lisa Ayers, who was brought to us by Shannon, who's doing like the Trello boards. I want to thank Michael Camp, Michael Kraus. This is just, I could go through like a list of names, but really it's about all of us just showing up right now. And I really hope we can play. Michael Camp put together just like Gail, like another version of a theme song for the event. And it's a real tearjerker, but again, thank you so much. Just deeply honored to be here and to just be in service at this time.
Beautiful. All right, well, let's play Michael's music video here. Here we go.
Crystal calls the visionaries, healers, and the wise to weave the threads of change where hope never dies. EARTHSTOCK, we unite under stars and sacred light for a world that's pure and bright. We gather, dream, and ignite. From the corners of the earth they come to share their tales of ancient wisdom, new ideas, where love prevails. Workshops in the morning, ceremonies at night. In this haven of nature we find our guiding light. EARTHSTOCK. forge a path of unity, leaving none behind. Songs of the earth, whispers of the trees, harmony in nature, carried by the breeze. With the mountains as our guardians, the rivers as our guide, we build a future radiant, standing side by side.
It's beautiful. Just beautiful.
Beautiful song.
I think it's a good way to close out a great show.
Amazing.
Michael, God bless you and all of your team, everybody who's with us. I really appreciate that. I noticed that grandmother Gail, who started us off, is still with us. So I'm going to put you on camera for a moment, grandmother. Thank you for being with us for this entire show. Sylvia, you put a lot of wonderful things into the chat box that was of support of Gail. Thank you for doing that, Sylvia. Shannon McCarthy. Good to meet you. Thank you so much. Global Peace Tribe, love each and every one of you. Get a good night's rest. We got a big morning tomorrow. I'll see you all tomorrow morning.